What is up, YouTube? And welcome to the very first video of the Success Podcast Network YouTube channel. My name is Robert Vasquez, and I'm the CEO and the founder of the Success Podcast Network. Podcasting. That's audio only, right? So what am I doing here? Well, I've always been an audio only podcaster. Someone told me a while back I have the face for radio. And, well, I just decided, you know what? It's time to get with the times. And it's time to jump into something that I know will help me. Hopefully will help to push the brand of what the Success Podcast Network is. And that's YouTube. So here I am. And after so long, just so much debate with myself, not having the self-confidence to say, I can do a YouTube channel, I heard something that I needed to hear from a mentor of mine. And it was just simply this. You've done this before. You did this before when you started recording your podcast. Just hit play. Not hit play. Hit record and go. And that's exactly what I did when I first started recording my first podcast episode. Now, 59 episodes later, I can go back and listen to that very first episode and I can totally hear the difference between then and now. So now here I am with YouTube, and you never know. This video might be just terrible by the end of it all, or it could be okay. But nonetheless, maybe 59 videos later, it's going to be all right. But you got to take that very first step forward. So here we go. Maybe this could turn into a podcast episode. I don't know. But my little message right there is just simply, you got to take that first step. You can't be afraid of, well, you can be afraid. You can be so afraid. But if it's something that you really want to do, and it's something you want to really be good at, take the first step. And this is what I'm doing today with this first video right here on YouTube. But before I go any further, the follow button. You see the follow button? Hit the follow button. Hit the notification bell right here on this channel. And all that does, it just lets you know there's a new episode out. That's all it does. Doesn't mess anything up. So when you get the new video episode, hit the link and it'll take you right to the new video. So, but before I go any further, this is the Success Podcast Network. I have a show, and it's called The Success It Is What It Is Podcast. And I'll get into that whole thing here in just a little bit. But I'm very happy to say that it is a Spotify podcast, which means I'm a Spotify podcaster. Very excited about that. Now, when you go to Spotify, if you haven't done it already, talking to those who haven't done it yet, hit the follow button there also. Hit the notification bell on Spotify. All you got to do is look up The Success It Is What It Is. You can look up success ... It Is What It Is. You can look up my name, Robert Vasquez. You'll find it very easily. Hit the follow button, hit the notification bell, and all that does, again, I'll say it again, it just lets you know that there's a new episode out. Doesn't mess with your playlist, doesn't clog up your phone with anything. It just lets you know there's a new episode out. So, with that being said, let's move on to the rest of the video. So, who am I? Who is this guy on your screen right now? Well, again, my name's Robert Vasquez, and very proud to say that I'm the CEO and the founder of the Success Podcast Network. The Success Podcast Network came about because of something that I heard someone else to say, and this is what the whole thing of how my podcast works. This is really just kind of how it's came about. I listen to a lot of people, and I listen to what is being said. And I was actually watching one of my favorite shows. And in this show of Californication, I don't know if you've heard it, but it's one of my favorites. Showtime. Great show. Not for the kids, though. Californication, there was an episode on there where there was a TV executive. And he was telling his group of people that this is my network. This is my TV network. And these are my shows. It was kind of an intense moment during the TV during that episode, but it's what he said that struck me. It's my network and it's my show. And I just thought to myself, I want to have my own network. I want to have my own shows. So what do I need to do next? And that's how it all started. So the Success Podcast Network came about because I wanted to put something out into the world in which I could help somebody. So what does that make me? Who am I? Well, I've been podcasting since 2020. This all started up when the pandemic was about to hit. And I had been researching this for a couple of years. I was gifted a great book called So You Want a Podcast. And I read that book cover to cover. Just reading every single thing, every which way you can introduce a podcast, you can create it, you can build it, the equipment that you need, thoughts, ideas, follow-up, feedback. I mean, everything of what a podcast was to be then. Now, wow, there's just so many different things now in regards to podcasting, which is one right here on YouTube. With that, I did go out and buy the equipment. I did go out and get the microphones, headphones, all that good stuff. I came up with an idea and I hit record. And that started everything for me. So, who am I? I'm a podcaster, but I'm also an educator. I've been in education now starting 18 years. I've worked at the secondary level, high school, middle school, and I absolutely love it. I'm working with the next generation of kids, of students. And to know that I have a hand in guiding these kids, trying to teach them what's right and what's wrong, it just does something else for me. I've been very blessed to be able to do this for this long. And right now I have just tiny little sixth graders that are just starting off to yesterday meeting up with a former student who's now grown, who's an adult with a family, and still shaking my hand and telling me it's good to see you. Such a great feeling to know that I get to be a part of that, helping to grow the next generation of people, because when I get older, they're going to have to take care of me. So I want to make sure that they're doing well. I just love to see my kids do so well. And so, educator, all that first. Well, I say that's part of it. But first and always first, the most important is I'm a father. I'm the dad to two amazing sons who are my whole world. They're my reason for doing everything. They're the reason that I keep going. They're the reason that I try to be the best that I can be, because I want to leave a legacy for them in hopes that they will create their own legacy based off of how hard Dad worked. Dad isn't perfect. I'm not perfect. Wow, look, I'm on screen saying I'm not perfect. I've messed up. But trying to be better than what I was yesterday. Trying to improve who I am as a person every day. I want my kids to see that they can do the same thing. That they're not perfect. That they're going to mess up. But they can get better. They're going to succeed. They can still get better even after they have succeeded in whatever it is. Just to constantly always work to be better than what they were yesterday. To create a legacy for themselves is just the one thing that I want to do. So I'm very, very excited. And I'm very, very happy to have those two boys as my sons. And so, father, educator, podcaster. I'm a son to two fabulous parents, friends. I mean, just, I'm kind of all over. And that's okay. I'm glad to say that. But who am I? I want to create something that has never been done before. But yeah, podcasting, it's been done before. Well, with the Success Podcast Network, I wanted to create the number one. I don't know if it's out there. I'm not saying anything yet. I'm doing it my own way, but I wanted to have, and I still do, I want to have the number one Latino owned, created podcast network. So that's what I'm working on. Constantly, every day, trying to put new things out there. Again, very proud of who I am, very proud of my culture, and just to represent in the right way. So that's where that comes from. Now, the shows that are on the Success Podcast Network. Right now, there's one show that is active on the network. Total, there's 3 shows. 2 of them right now, doesn't bother me to say. 2 of them right now are kind of on the shelf for the moment. I have other hosts that are part of those shows as well. So it gives me great pleasure to know that the podcast network is sponsored by Muscle Mowing and Landscaping right here in Amarillo, Texas. Sponsored by Muscle Mowing and Landscaping. It's owned by my best friend in the world, Mr. Cleet Bell. He stepped up to me and said, "Hey, I want to be a sponsor of your show." He's taking care of me. But with that being said, he's also the host of one of the shows on the network. I'll get to that in a second. And his wonderful, lovely wife, Lori, is the host of the other show. So let's get in and talk about the shows. The first show is my show, the Success It Is What It Is podcast. That one, that show was created off of the phrase, "It is what it is." Now think about this. How many people say it is what it is all the time? All the time. I hear people say it is what it is all the time. I said that one time, it is what it is. And at that moment, it came off in a very negative way. The response was very negative. And I decided to say, when it came time to create my show, what was I going to come up with? I'm thinking about a successful thing. I'm thinking about ideas. I really wanted to know how people gain their success. I really wanted to talk about that. I really wanted to pick people's brains and see what they could tell me about their success, how they got to where they got to. And the phrase, "it is what it is," I matched it up with the word success, because our success, your success, my success, it is what it is. It is what it is based on the work that we have done. And boom, my show was created. Success, it is what it is. And that's how the whole thing got started. It's turned into my life. If you go back and you listen to each one of my episodes, I have really put my life out there. And I'm not afraid of it. I'm not ashamed of it. My life has been a roller coaster. And I put it out there in such a way that anybody that wants to hear it, you're going to hear it full 100%. No filters, no censored, just the truth. I have nothing to hide. So I put it out there in such a way. And I've always been kind of a solo podcaster. And I've also had guests on there as well, but it's also turned into a great form of therapy for myself. Anything that I hear, anything that I run into, any situations, anything at all, it allows me to take it and formulate something in which I can give back to somebody else. I've always said that if I can help one person, then I've done my job. That is what success, it is what it is. That's the whole theme about it. Our success, and I say our, yours and mine, our success, it is what it is, and it is based on the work that we have done. It's based on all that. So if you're here, that's the work you've done. It is what it is. If you're up here, that's the work you've done. It is what it is. That's the whole premise behind it. I'm very proud of that show. Very, very proud. That show has saved my life many times. So that is that show. Success, it is what it is. 59 episodes. going strong, still going, still pushing it out there. The other show that myself and my buddy Cleet Bell, we host, is called the Stacked and Jacked podcast. That is something that we put together on Christmas Day a couple of years back. We were frying a turkey. We were talking about a new show about weightlifting and fitness and dieting and all those fun things that we enjoy talking about. We're like, who can we talk about? Who can we talk to in regards to everything fitness related? Bodybuilding at the top of the list, dieting, training methods. The craziest thing down to music. What do you wear at the gym? It just really turned into a fitness podcast. And we had a great time doing it. We had to shelve it for a little bit, and that's okay. It'll come back. The other podcast that is on the podcast network is Lori versus the Internet. And that is Cleet's wife, Lori. And what she does is she tackles topics that she finds on the internet, and she breaks them down. She has her guests on. She does solo pods. She does pods with guests. And it's a great time. She doesn't hold back. And her thoughts and ideas are really, really wonderful. And it's a great podcast to listen to. Right now, that's another one that has to be on the shelf, and that's okay. It's going to come back very, very soon. So all of those are out right now on Spotify, because you see, the Success Podcast Network is a Spotify network. So all those, you will find them on Spotify. So go follow them. Go check them out. See what you think. Hopefully you'll like what you hear. So, as I've spoken about the Success Podcast Network, as I've spoken about Success, It Is What It Is podcast, mine. Even though the other two are on the shelf, there are great things that I'm looking forward to with the podcast network. So what's the goal? What's the intention? Right now, being a podcaster, this is a platform that I'm very, very grateful for. I'm very blessed to be able to do this. For as long as I can remember, I have been told that I have had a great voice for doing this, for being on a microphone. I have spent many years in front of a microphone doing announcing gigs. I've announced for graduations in which I've had to be up there and announce every student's name. I've done that for years. I have done many volleyball, basketball, football, those introductions, the introductions of the lineups, introducing the player's number, introducing the player's name, their position, doing the whole thing that you would hear in an arena. I've had the opportunity to announce for West Texas A&M University. I did the Texas All-Star basketball games there. Just really using my voice to project it in such a way where I'm highlighting other people. I've been blessed in such a way by the good Lord up above, and I'm so grateful every single day. And even in the moment that I lost my voice completely, 2 years now, there was a moment where I lost my voice completely. It was the worst thing ever. I rely on this thing. Here's the crazy part. Today, as you're watching this video, this is the best that my voice has sounded probably a month and a half. This morning, I didn't have a voice. It was gone. I woke up, didn't have it. And now, after all the day of talking, here I am. It's been something to work with, but I'm so grateful every day. And I thank the good Lord up above for the blessing that he gave me of my voice. So I use this as a speaking platform. I use the Success It Is What It Is podcast as a speaking platform. If I can help one person, then I've done my job. And I've seen my episodes, my numbers be at one person. One person listened to my episode. It stings a little bit. Because I'm hoping that, nobody likes me. That's not what it's about. It means that one person heard me, and I need to help others I want to help more people. I've seen my podcast at 1. I've seen some of my episodes at 100. So I'm right in there from 100 to 1. I've been there. But I'm not going to stop. Episode 59, just completed that. Got to finish that up, publish that episode. And then we just keep on going. Do I want more followers? Sure. That is what makes my podcast network relevant. I want all that. So yes, I do ask for the followers, and I do ask if you will hit the notification bell. Now I'm doing it for YouTube. I want to be relevant. I want to be on the big stage someday. I want to be speaking in front of many people. I'm not afraid to speak in front of people. That is something that I feel that I have been called to do. But to get there, it takes work. It takes a lot of work. Early mornings, late nights, such as this one, trying to create something that is positive. Sometimes even creating something that is negative to bring it to a positive light, to be real, to be raw, to be truthful, to be blunt, to speak my mind in such a way that when it's over, I've done something to help somebody else. I love what I do. I love podcasting very, very much. And I want to do everything I can to take this next level. My favorite podcaster is Joe Rogan. I want to be on the Joe Rogan show someday. Yes, I'm putting it out there, manifesting it right now. So even Joe Rogan, if you hear this, I want to be on your show someday. I feel I have a lot to say, and I would be perfect. So, if you're listening, this guy, your show, Joe Rogan, he's my favorite. He's really one of the main reasons. He's one of the guys that I watched to say, I got to do this. I got to do this podcasting thing. So, big fan of him. Here I am now. But again, using this platform in such a way that I can help, inspire, inform, and do the right thing for other people. So why keep this going? Why keep this going? Because I know that I'm not done yet. I've had so many life experiences during this whole time. And recently, in the past 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I've had so many life experiences that I feel people need to know about. Some of them are easy. Some of them are easy to talk about in regards to, just being successful for you, for really pushing yourself next level. Some of them are a little bit more personal in regards to who we are as people. Some of them are even more direct in who we are as men, and me speaking to the men out there and saying, listen, you don't change it, things will be like this. Or, hey, let me have you something. Let me give you something to look at. It's real and it's raw because it's happened to me. And at this point, it doesn't bother me to share it with somebody else. I want to be as vulnerable as I can because right now, this is the only way this is going to work. What keeps me going is, I'll say it 1,000,000 times over, me being able to help somebody else makes me feel better. Me being able to talk about these things and somebody else say, oh yeah, I see that now. Oh yeah, maybe I need to change my ways. Oh yeah, maybe if I do that, maybe things will be better. Remember, you're one decision away from changing your whole life. So make the right decision. I know we're not all perfect. I know we're all going to mess up. Trust me, I've done it. But you also have to say, I'm also going to make a decision to be better. So that is what keeps me going. The expectation that I have for this show of mine, the Success It Is What It Is podcast. I'm so very proud of that. And no one can take that away from me. No one can take away from me the hard work that I put into that to create it. Is it as big as some other people? No. Is it as big as some of the other podcasts out there? No. But that's not what it is. It's not theirs. It's mine. It's what I believe in and what I want to do to, again, always help somebody else. It's not always serious. It's not always sad. There's some good times in there as well. But again, I'm trying to almost strike a nerve to hit a point. I'm making a point for everyone out there. I love podcasting and I have a very, very high expectation for it. My podcast is going to go next level. Do you hear this right now? Very first video. My podcast is going to go next level. That's the expectation I have for myself. That is what I'm going to do to keep working as hard as I can to take this next level. Whether I'm here in my little home studio that I'm in right now, this most basic one, just myself, this microphone, and this computer, to the bigger studio that I can go to the bigger computer setup that I have, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do the best that I can do to make this the best podcast that I can make it. I'm going to do what I have to do to make this the best podcast network that I can make it to be. So, it's a lot to say, but still, nonetheless, very, very excited because this is the first video for the Success Podcast Network YouTube channel. If you made it this far, thank you. And remember, hit the follow button. Hit the follow button here on YouTube and the notification bell. Go to Spotify. We are Spotify people, okay? Hit the follow button on Spotify. Hit the notification bell on Spotify just to let you know there's a new episode up. You do it here on YouTube, just going to let you know there's a new episode up. I want to show so much love to each and every one of you that has supported me all this whole time. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to continue working as hard as I can to make you proud. I've heard many people just give me compliments and show me love. So if that's the case, I want to make sure that I'm doing the same thing and showing love back as well. So, not too bad. Not too bad. I think we made it. So I'm going to see you right here back again before I go. Got to show love to two of my greatest friends. Number one, the Flatland Podcast, my good buddy, Mr. Armando Perez out of Lubbock, Texas. Great podcast. You got to check this guy out. Flatland Podcast. Also, want to show love to my other great friend, Mr. JP Lopez with the JP Lopez Show podcast. Great podcast. These two guys are going to take you and your thinking and your laughter to a whole new level. So, wanted to show love to them because they've shown me so much love. So, thank you guys. I'm going to see you next time right here on the Success Podcast Network YouTube channel. Take care. Bye-bye.